antiques. That's cool too. Hold on. I give a buck to anybody who know where it's from.
We discussed this. It's kind of like
Well
home.
then, dang.
Why you
Look,
gotta ruin it?
if you knew. Anyway, yeah, that's Sherlock Holmes. So,
He
why,
get it
since
down.
he there, introduce yourself, fam.
What's up? It's Stefan. Back. Let's go.
Stefan, he's back.
Hey everybody, it's Asia. I'm here. What's up, y'all? It's Steve Bailey.
Nobody cares. Hold on.
It's
See,
the
he's
man.
laughing.
No. It's the
I
man.
just talked
It's
bad
the-
and he
it's the man-
laughing.
It's the man. He gonna
He
set
right,
up with
nobody
a battle.
cares. See?
It's the man. He gonna set up with a battle. It's your boy Sohail. The roads are clear. I'm here.
Yeah, it's finna go down today because I've been nice because it's Black History Month for real, and I've been going through some changes on my own. Anyway, today is War Story Wednesday. War Story Wednesday. War Story Wednesday. And we talk about battles, historical battles, war. The last week we talked about the causes of war, right? And before that we talked about last week was the first War Story Wednesday. Last week, yeah, you're right.
We did the
So
North
last
one.
month,
Yeah.
was that the first War Story Wednesday?
I think it was the last week of January that we did it.
Yeah, because that's the first month of the year. All right.
Thank you.
All right, so we went over King Sardon, the first Emperor King, last War Story Wednesday, and also the causes of war. So I looked up some information about a lot of African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Well, not a lot, a few, like 4 or 5. You know, that were really like dominating. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing. I was gonna talk about Sardon again because I didn't like how we left it. Because we got so into the 10 causes of war, it was just really interesting. And I think it was really needed because at first I just wanted to tell war stories and get kind of fanatical about all kind of characters in war. But then as I started studying and reading a book about historical investigations, I had a different perspective. And I was like, it's still Black History Month, so why talk about, anything else but Black history? And I looked up some stuff, and I wanted to look up who was like the first Black general, and Benjamin O. Davis Sr. is a badass. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Reading his story, I was like so happy. My eyes were big. I was smiling. But I also looked up Lorna M. Malak. I think that's her last name. But there was a lot of stuff I found out about movies like Glory, about the 54th Regiment. I had no idea. I used to hate that movie because I thought it was fake. But it's based on real stuff, real events. And just going through the rabbit hole, you find a whole bunch of information. But one thing that I wanna get through what I read. After I'm gonna ask my people, do they got any news for the day, anything going on with them? But due to what I read and researched, this is the question I had. Is taking a knee really valid after we have so many African American heroes that fought in the United States military? Is it disrespect to them to take a knee because of police brutality? Because I don't know. What I'm saying is it really still valid? And am I a buster because I'm thinking like, should I still do it because I'm honoring these guys too? I don't know, or maybe can it be another way? But anyway, that's gonna be a discussion. I'm gonna get through my information, but first I'm gonna just I'm gonna let people, my people, what's going on with you? You guys got any facts about today? Any Black history that you know of? Anything about the stimulus check? Anything about COVID-19?
Johnson & Johnson's working on their own shot, so that'll be, if it gets FDA approved or FDA regulated, it'll be the 3rd shot aside from Moderna and Pfizer that's going to be allowed in the United States of America. They're saying that they're
who? Johnson & Johnson, the people that make the baby powder?
Yep.
They do more than just make baby. Well, I guess if you can make me smell good.
Aren't they part of the Procter & Gamble family?
Yes.
And that's like one of the biggest like cosmetics / like aesthetic.
Yeah, Procter
company.
& Gamble is in association with Johnson & Johnson. They make all sorts of different products for all sorts of different things.
So their selling point is that it's only going to be one shot instead of two shots. It's going to be only one shot. But they say it's only 60% effective right now. So it's like, why would you even?
I feel like that's a better statistic than going out with the big 90% that Pfizer and the other one did. Like I read somewhere that they said that it was 90% effective, and I'm like, what? Like, how can you have that statistic already? Like that high of a statistic?
Yeah, it's a little early for that kind of statistic.
All of
Especially
that's
with
early.
the limited amount of vaccinations that have already occurred, and like the fact that some of them have had Bell's palsy or some sort of partial paralysis happen. So I'm like, I'm gonna need to have the proof in the pudding before I do the vaccine personally.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of allergic reactions have been happening with the two-phase COVID-19 shots. People are
You heard it?
yeah,
Who?
News source.
Okay. Which news?
That I would have to look on my
Okay.
phone.
It's all good. It's all
Say
good.
because there's been a lot of reports people are having allergic reactions to the second phase shot.
Yikes.
So.
Well, we got all the three queens right there. I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm about to put somebody on spot.
Oh boy.
Somebody has. Well, one thing I want to say. This person, Ashley Bailey over there, is already a genius. She got status. You know what I'm saying? She got status. But can you tell them what just happened for you or what you're about to do in a month or two? Is that okay?
Did you just say Ashley, bro?
I mean, Aaliyah. Aaliyah Bailey. Aaliyah
He
Bailey.
trash with names, bro.
I am. See, you can't remember what you're about to do.
I'm doing so many things I want to talk about, but some of them I'm not sure.
It's a movie with a little bear that talks, and the name of the movie, TED Talk.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm not supposed to talk about
Oh
that.
shit! Oops. Well, TED Talk 3 is.
So why are you talking about it if she can't?
Dude,
Then why would you?
you ever heard about an NDA, bro?
No, it's all good, but I'm just trying to make some things happen. It's all right.
And we can leave it at that, right?
Hey, we'll just
Yeah,
Before
let's
she
just
gets-
leave
We'll
it
leave
at
it
that.
If you get a call tomorrow from her talking about, man, you got me kicked off the
Yeah.
No, you're good. We'll just move on.
Okay. Well, nobody else got anything special that happened to them?
The only
I think
thing
both
I
of
got
us got
going on is-
haircuts.
Yeah.
You and me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I my barber messed up, so I had to shave my head.
Dang.
But I don't mind. I rock the bald look. They call me the Indian Walter White.
That's why you. Okay.
No, they don't. No one calls me that. No one
I was
calls
gonna say, who calls you that?
nobody.
How long ago did that happen?
This happened. When was it? Like first week of February? No. What is it now? Yeah, first week. Of
And
February.
have I heard of a what? What were you gonna say? An NDA? What the fuck?
A non-disclosure agreement?
Oh no. I mean, yeah, I did, but I thought like it was safe to cut my own hair.
No, that was pertaining to the movie.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about the movie.
No.
Yeah, we're not gonna touch base on that one again.
I thought it was okay to cut my hair.
No, yeah. No, I cut my hair because I
What
wanted
I'm
stars.
getting at is that you tried to cut your own hair.
No.
And that's why you didn't come.
No. Oh, no. I went to
That's a
my.
good reason.
I went to-
That's really why you didn't come.
I went to my
It
barber.
wasn't the weather at all.
Right. No. I went to the barber and then I wanted stars on the side of my head. And he like put the big star was dope. The two small stars was a little crooked. But the problem that I had was he shaved my widow's peak off. I didn't want my widow's peak cut off. So when he cut that off, it wasn't. I guess I kind of misguided him or whatever. But when he cut that off, I was like, all right, I'm gonna shave my head now.
So you just weren't happy with the lineup.
Yeah, because I like my widow's peak. I don't
Did
want
you
it-
pay for the haircut?
Yeah,
Did you not leave a tip though?
I left a tip. I left an even bigger tip because I was like, man,
Just do better next time.
yeah, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Are you gonna go back?
That was like my parting gift, that extra tip. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't want to get into all that in case you.
That's real though. That's real.
I feel that in my soul.
So
I've had so many people mess my hair up in the shops. That's why I cut my own hair.
yeah. What you got written down here?
No, can you read it?
Nope.
Too bad. Let's see here. Where to start? So, go ahead and try.
All right. You want me to start right here?
Yeah, because the first part has everything to do with the 54 for the most part.
All right. So July 18th, 1863, Union troops, the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry defended Fort
How I
Wagner.
write it? Let me.
On
Okay.
Morris Island in South Carolina Harbor.
Yeah. So in 1863, on July 18th, the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry defended Fort Wagner on Morris Island against the Confederate Army. They lost pretty bad, but William Harvey Carney, born a slave, was raised by a slave, but he got into the military, joined the 54 in 1863, and during that battle, while he was defending Fort Wagner from a Confederate army that had been plotting this assault for a very long time, and it was actually quite effective. It left over 200 of the 54th Regiment, the infantry, dead, and massacred the non-colored units. But this man was shot many times, and the big thing about this battle, not only is the movie Glory based off of him and the troops, but one big thing about this battle is that after the battle, while he was carrying the flag, he's quoted for saying the flag never touched the ground. After the war, he received the Medal of Honor for his bravery, and he was regarded as the first African American to earn the Medal of Honor. And like I said, the movie Glory is based off of this man. There's a lot of information about him, but he was pretty tough dude. And I know he died in a Boston. He lived to be at least 70, and he died of something like, after going through all this, I think he died of like a cold or something, like something that was crazy. But after all the wear and tear on the body, yes, ma'am. Yes, something.
Oh, I'm just saying. I was just wondering, have y'all seen the movie Glory?
I haven't.
I have not.
When did it come out?
Oh, it's like old.
Old.
It's like, like old. So the school that I went to back in Illinois, there were two movies that they always made us watch throughout like my schooling to teach us about Black history, and it was Some Hearts of Roots and Glory. Like that was it. So we all watched it, and I am glad I got to see it though. I thought that it did a pretty good like depiction of what happened, and I thought they tried, especially for the time period, because like it's only been in recent years that people have been more aware of trying to be culturally accurate and like not racist, frankly. So considering some of those things for the time period, I thought they did a pretty decent description or depiction of it. And I know my favorite part about the movie, or one of the parts that stand out the most, is the scene where they're talking about, or they're sitting around a campfire and they start singing like a spiritual song. I think it's right before the battle actually happens, and it was just like a really powerful moment.
I hated that movie growing up. I absolutely hated that movie. When we were in elementary school, there were these twins, Jeremy and Greg Irwin, and their mom used to have that like every Black History Month or so on, something like that. We would be watching that. Then I think that's probably why I didn't like it. And I know when I watched it in the humanities class in the junior college, I was laughing when they was getting killed. Because one thing, at that point in my life, I didn't care about the military, and I thought you were foolish for joining the military. I thought like join a militia, and why would you want to fight for them? Got a different heart, different mindset. Matter of fact, I almost got into it with somebody because I thought it was funny. But afterwards, today, after reading like last night, there's more sensitivity towards people's feelings who do respect veterans, who do respect that, because I respect the Vietnam vets, you know what I mean? But I should have researched. Then I didn't care to research. But today, I stand with a change of heart and a different perspective, and happy that I did, because I wouldn't have, if I didn't sit back and just think about doing something for Black History Month, still in the spirit of Black History Month for the podcast, probably would have still been ignorant to it. Got something to say?
No.
All right. Let's see here. Has some type of chronological order. Martin R. Delaney. You guys ever heard of him? Martin R. Delaney, the father of black nationalism. I always want to say he's the first he was the first general in the military, but he wasn't. Martin R. Delaney, the father of black nationalism. He was an abolitionist, an author, physician, and an army officer. He was born to slaves, just like the previous fella. It's obvious because of the time frame they were born in. It's said that he came from African ancestry. He was taught to read by his mother, Patty, so she probably was of ancestry, because I know at one point in time you had to be royalty to even know how to read. Some cultures you had to be. Delaney and being able to read was a sign of being royal. Has the effect. Delaney began an apprenticeship with the Pittsburgh physician and opened a successful medical practice. They were doing stuff like cupping and leeching. And right underneath that, it said, what did it say? It said, no certification was needed to practice this in those days. So that's how they were able to get away with doing that. Because I was like, man, some of the brothers in the mosque still do cupping, though. Mm-hmm. I've walked in there. And that's the day I found out I know what blood smells like, and I am disgusted about it. I had no idea I had a fear of blood until I walked in there that day.
Yeah, cupping is actually coming back into like popularity with culture and medicine. They're using it to get rid of toxins from the body, and it's just a huge detox that they use to cleanse your blood and stuff like that.
Can you guys
That's
explain?
why they did like leeching and stuff as well.
Can you guys remind me what cupping is?
Cupping is where they take those glass bulbs and they put fire on the inside of it, and then they place it in certain pressure points in your back, and it pulls the skin up from the pressure releasing, and it pulls the blood to the surface, and it will literally start leaching out bits of blood and toxins from your skin with heat and suction.
What's up, Pierce?
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely insane. It's a crazy thing to watch. I've seen cupping done a few times, and it literally looks like an alien got a hold of your back afterwards, because you have these big circular hickeys pretty much down your back and your spine, and they're like perfectly placed.
Right here?
Yes, right here.
I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not talking to you. Keep going.
I'm sorry. So yeah, they use cupping to get rid of toxins and stuff from the blood and help get your body to kind of function normal, help with liver health.
You're explaining it well. I'm listening. That's all.
So they use a couple of different methods. They can use heat, or they can just use straight suction. With the suction, they have like a little vacuum top on them, and original cupping started with
skin
fire
was
method.
so all popped up and puffed up, and I was. Yeah. It smells like no other, and they were doing it in the voodoo room, right? That's where we go and wash up. And I'm looking like, and they said, "Brother Muhammad, you don't like blood, do you?" I said, "I guess not. This is new to me, discovery to me." They were doing it. I think it wasn't Ramadan. I can't say because it's either way it goes. They were doing it, and I was freaked out about it. All right, now. So they practiced that. He was also involved in the Underground Railroad. He established a newspaper. He became an editor to the North Star newspaper. These were all papers that in that day, this button right here. In that day and time, that ain't. It's this one. In that day and time, he like the North Star newspaper and was a paper used to inform like the North where to go. They use it as a tool to fight slavery. That's all. It was like promoting people to help. It was promoting people to help get slaves that were running away. Really, that's basically what it was. And he was one of the editors. He basically was one of the people that helped create it. Amongst all the other stuff that this guy was doing, this is something that he did. And in doing the research about him, his mother had to move around because the family was intelligent. Both of his parents knew how to read. So they would often get in trouble for violating the law because in that time it was illegal for blacks to know how to read. So, but they said that, and I'm gonna say because she was so intelligent, she said that the Britannica they described it as easily she would just leave. They would charge her, but I think due to her intelligence, these people were probably a lot tougher and smoother about how they were going to do these things, and they knew that they really couldn't play with these type of people. I mean, he's considered the father of black nationalism, so he can't be no joke. He helped recruit troops for the 59th Army. He served as a surgeon. Delaney was made a major. He was made a major. They say he was the first black man to receive Army commission. In 1874, Delaney ran for the lieutenant governor as an independent Republican in South Carolina and lost. Yeah, they still, isn't that the state that still got up to Robert E. Lee? Yeah.
Yep.
But let's talk about that a little bit. So one thing that people like to talk about is the fact that times like prior to the Civil War or prior to, I guess, Construction, African Americans who were Republican and try to like use that. How do I want to word this? Let's just say people talk about that. But one thing that some people don't understand is that after the Reconstruction era, the parties kind of flip in their like ideology. So a lot of the things that we would normally associate, or that today we would associate with like Democrats, would be what they would call like the Republicans. And I can't remember the exact name. I don't think they were just straight like Democrats and Republicans as we say today. It was like,
because he was an independent Republican.
Yeah, and like Lincoln himself was a I can't remember what it is, but it was like a something like they had a little bit of different verbiage. So that's something that's really important to know when we're talking about like the history of political parties.
See, you needed to be here, and she's the real deal. Now I can say that, right?
Yes.
You the real deal.
Oh my God, dude.
Man, shut up before I
Smack my head.
Nah.
Next time you come, I think you should come with a stack of NDAs that all of us have to sign.
Right.
Have like a lawyer, notary, president, and everything.
He authored books like The Conditioning, Elevation, and Destiny of the Colored. So, but that's just like 5 books. There's like, they still look hella like the covers. They have I want to say modernized the covers. Why are you looking at me like that?
What?
You're just sitting there smiling like.
Am I not always smiling?
Why is he paranoid? Like,
No,
he's just actively engaging and listening.
and you taking it up for him? Why? Why are you taking it up for him?
Brothers gotta stand up for
Why
each
you
other
say-
with
okay.
each other, right?
Okay.
He's over here staring into dude's soul. Like,
Right. And you gonna take up for him. You gonna get it too. Where's my bombs when I need them?
Is that bad?
Where's my bombs? Dang. Justin. Is he even in the building?
Is
yes,
that good?
No, man.
he's got his
I don't want
headphones
to
on.
touch you because I'm afraid I might dead because this
I mean,
is
you
new.
can try to detonate something. I don't know how well that's gonna go.
Can I try?
There you go.
Shut up.
That was a gun.
That was weak.
That was a bullet.
That ain't my. That was weak.
Let's take 30 seconds to figure them out.
Thank you.
Let me hear it.
We know we don't want to do that one right now.
Right.
Huh?
We're just going to a horror movie or something.
All right.
Right.
Sorry, folks. We are used to having sound effects, and we just had a moment. That's all. We had a moment.
We also had a wall.
Oh, we getting that back. He's getting some type of
Foam.
whatever it is, some
Yeah,
type of special
soundproofing.
effect. We getting some type of wallpaper for me, especially for the show.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that way you can't get in. I'm gonna build a barrier between you and me, and you. Every time y'all make me mad, every time y'all get a haircut, cause y'all start acting brand new. You know what I'm saying? People start acting brand new after they get haircuts. I don't know why, but they do. See, she even agreeing. The baby even agreeing. Dang.
I mean, heck, the last time you saw me, I was straight blonde.
But you ain't acting brand new.
No.
You ain't acting. That's you always do something. You know.
I'm always changing it up.
Some of them
Gotta-
get new
gotta
haircuts
keep
and
you
don't
guys
even
on
want
your
to come out the
toes.
house.
Oh, my Prius.
You know what I'm saying? You got something to say? You did last time.
I'm just drinking water here.
Oh, water
Keep it
boy.
that way. All right, now we went into who did we talk about? We talked about the brother William Harvey Carney. We also talked about Martin R. Delaney. Now we're gonna talk about really what brought me there. This man was like, I looked up the first black military general, and it came back as Benjamin O. Davis Sr. All right, man. Too bad we ain't got a drum roll because I'm just gonna give it to this man now, cause dude, why we ain't seen a movie about him? He served as a volunteer in Spanish-American War. That's right, baby. That's right. Davis Sr. enlisted as private in the 9th Cavalry of the U.S. military. Rose to sergeant major in 2 years. After, enlisted okay, let me run that back. He served as a volunteer in the Spanish-American War. He enlisted as a private in the 9th Cavalry of the U.S. military. All right? Now, he rose to sergeant major in 2 years, earned a commission to second lieutenant in 1901. All right? He taught military science at Tuskegee Institute and at Wilberforce University.
Can't run away. Oh no, why? That's impossible.
What's going on?
Okay, this video. No, this is gonna get blocked if we got Nickelodeon.
No, but nobody can see it. Did I do this?
Alexa,
Alexa, stop!
Courage. It didn't work. I
Alexa,
need to find another way.
stop!
I have an idea.
I'm sorry, guys. We're having
Alexa!
Technical issues, guys.
You better listen to me, Alexa. Alexa, sing the song like I told you to sing the song.
That scared the bejesus out of me.
That's not hard to do.
Oh God.
That's not hard to do.
Dang, what
Dang.
what
It's just coming. It's just coming.
I missed something.
Because I want to. Don't have to have
Dang,
reason.
I missed 3 episodes. Dang.
I only missed one.
What is that? What's so?
I forgot. Like, time flies. Like I didn't realize.
I didn't even know we had an Alexa. I didn't even know that could happen. Man, I'm gonna blame you for that. Right, I'm gonna blame you for
He's
that.
like, bring it back, bring it back.
Maybe his superpowers.
Blame you for that, little one. All right, now where was I before Alexa interrupted me? Okay, in 1930, became first black colonel in the Army. Right? Do y'all see how like this dude is he's basically just coming to power, just boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Like, not in 9 years, not 2 years, like every 2 years or so. In 1940, promoted. In 1940, so in 1930, he became the first black colonel in the Army. In 10 years from that, in 1940, he was promoted to brigadier general by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, which he's the only one that can really do that, and he even has to ask for permission. He commanded 2nd Cavalry Division in 1941. He got assigned to the office of the Inspector General of the Army. In World War II, headed a special unit charged with safeguarding the status and morale of black soldiers in the Army. He retired in 1948 after 50 years of service. So he was dope, wasn't he? Man,
Right,
dope.
That's a lot.
And you know what else?
Little one's showing respect to that.
Hey, real recognize real. That's right. So, as for his son, pretty much did the same thing. Benjamin Oliver Davis Jr., pilot officer administrator, who became the first African American general in the U.S. Air Force. In 1943, he organized and commanded the 332nd Fighter Group, the Tuskegee Airmen. By the end of the year, Davis he taught. Okay, he was one of the guys that helped train at the Tuskegee Airmen, the facility that was where they sent the black pilots to train. He was one of those guys, and by the end of the war, he was one of the instructors. But by the end of the war, he had flown 60 combat missions and had been promoted to colonel. All right. The History Reader, a book by Clint Van Winkle. It was a web page from what I saw, but I think it's also a book. But the guy's name is Clint Van Winkle, and he's got some writings that's titled The History Reader. And what I got is Tuskegee Army Airfield, a base built exclusively for training African American military pilots. He said that an official U.S. Army report concluded that it was called the use of Negro manpower in war. An official U.S. Army report concluded that blacks were very low in the scale of human evolution. This was like this was kind of like the ethic of the people that was running that place, and they had that facility there to train us so we could be better, I guess, or so they could be better. Anyway, the first class of 13 men set out to make history and to change the status quo. 5 airmen earned their wings in March 1942, became the 99 Pursuit Squadron, later Fight Squadron. And out of that, Red Tails, all those fighter pilots that did the thing. I also want to mention Brigadier General, how did I not? Lorna M. Mallock. Yeah, Lorna M. Mallock. She is the first. She's a brigadier general, director of information command, control communication and computers. She's also she's an African American female in the Marines. I think Trump nominated her for that, but she's pretty tough herself. She was like the first black colonel, first female colonel, but I know that she's like the first of a lot of stuff, and she's put in some work for the Marine Corps and done the thing, you know. So, with that being said, after all that honorable activity, after all that, we went through here so we can have we got 23 good minutes to talk about taking a knee. Who knows, like, when it started specifically? Like, does anybody have any idea when? Because I didn't look it up. I don't know.
It started around when Trayvon Johnson happened.
Martin.
Or Trayvon Martin, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact year. Do you
I
want to
think
look
it
that
was
up
like
real quick?
2012.
10.
When did Trayvon Martin
Do you want to look that
happen?
up real quick? But it was with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
The NFL.
Yeah.
He sure did start that.
He did.
I don't see him no more.
That's kind of the point.
There's a reason.
Yeah. Well, they asked him to stop. He didn't. So he's essentially been like blacklisted from the NFL, and that's been something that has
We're
been
actually
a
coming
huge
up on that.
area of contention.
That's Friday.
Yep.
In the NFL, why a lot of people are saying they don't want to, support it amongst a lot of other controversy that happens within the organization and the players itself.
Right, and we just pulled it up. It was actually February 26th of 2012 when Trayvon Martin was shot. And that's when Colin Kaepernick started the taking a knee.
That's when he started it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, this is the deal. I guess my attitude is like this about a lot of that stuff because my mama never allowed me to say the Pledge of Allegiance or anything like that ever in life. So I never cared about it. I didn't do it. It was already a daily activity. The police brutality piece, like I said in my song, 314 State of Mind, I got choked out by a legendary police officer who's incarcerated right now. I've been victimized by police brutality, been in it, and I understand it. I really do, And I've lived you could say I've been a hypocrite, laughing at glory. I respect the struggle of a warrior and a soldier, and I respect the contribution of vets. So last night, one thing is, I don't even really support professional sports. I don't even wear, like, if it ain't something that I'm invested in, I already don't do that. So for me, in a way, it's like I already live a movement. I already been living the revolution. But I respect everybody who expresses themselves. But with all that activity that these people did, that these brothers did, why is taking a knee why an offense? Why is it the defense? Is it because of the song? Like, why exactly that strategy? You got an
Well, with the First Amendment right, freedom of expression, I believe that it's them exercising that to its fullest.
I know that, but why that one? Why that? Why not, like, take handcuffs and throw them in the garbage can? Why not steal on the police officer who's abusing you?
Because you can't fight violence with more violence at that point.
I call it self-defense. I mean, have you ever been choked up by a police officer?
I have not.
Have you ever been shot at by a police officer?
I have not.
Have you ever had your house kicked in by a police officer who didn't have a warrant?
I have not.
So if that happened to you, you probably did, but you're the one saying you can't fight violence with violence. So if that happened to you, what would you do? Would you fight violence with violence then?
I genuinely don't have the background or anything to make a...
But you made a very strong opinion. So if you were placed in a situation where you had to defend yourself, therefore you probably changed your mind.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I would. However, I believe that with what Kaepernick did was try to have more of a non-confrontational...
Has there been a decrease or increase in the police brutality since then?
There has, because it's become more and more evident with social media and with recordings and everything, so there has been an increase. I can't speak from experience whatsoever. I just think that Kaepernick did the best he could with the platform he was given, without creating any kind of over violence in a way. I don't know if that makes sense.
You said love, right? We've been through this. This is not an unfamiliar topic. Okay? So you say you don't believe in fighting violence with violence. You also say you choose love, right? I love my mother. You love your mother?
Of course.
So if you were with your mother and you got pulled over by the police, and when she rolls down her window, he punched her in the face, would you still do that nonviolence act?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Somebody else got something to say about that?
Okay, go ahead.
So the initial question about, Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and whether, I want to make sure I'm answering your question. So were you asking, like, is that a good strategy, especially in relation to the previous conversation?
That question, for him, it was a little different because of his response. But my question was, why that method? Why that strategy? When we have so much activity by blacks in the military, why would we take a knee? Is it the song?
Okay, so I don't know why Colin, why he made that decision at that time. I'm not as familiar with that. It probably was at one point, but now that's been 9 years ago, which is wild that this has been going on so long and we haven't made very much progress in this. But and from my perspective, I know that we have people, African Americans who have served in the military, who have done great things for the military. My grandfather served in the military. However, we still see this injustice done to African American people, regardless of the things that we have put into this country, whether that was serving the military or all of the education and advancements, and just there's just so much that we have put into. I mean, even just slavery. I mean, when we say that the United States was brought up on the backs of African American people. I mean, literally, just if it weren't for the work that we were putting in back then that we have not gotten reparations for today, still yet today, I mean, the United States would be nothing. Yet we are still facing police brutality. We are still facing all these inequalities and injustices on every level, from education, from job opportunity, from healthcare, you know, all of it. And I mean, even within sports, you know, I see so many people who are so many, especially young African American men, who are put through school and they're given these sports scholarships and they all focus on sports, and then they get out, they don't make it to like the major leagues and stuff, and then where are they at? They're just, because all they cared about, all these schools cared about, was their athletics, was how much attention and how much money can you bring us. Well, okay, now your career is done for here. Okay, now we're done with you, and now here you are. I mean, it's injustice at every level. So I absolutely respect the efforts that these people that you mentioned and all the others that have put into our military over the years, but that doesn't change the fact that we still are not treated equally, and we still need to do something to make a change, whether that's taking a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance or getting out in the streets and marching for Black lives. I mean, and all the different things that there are to do in between, whether that's supporting Black businesses and voting with your dollar in that sense, or voting in general, or, you know, however you want to make a stance and make a difference. You know, I think that it's absolutely acceptable for anyone to do that.
Thank you. You got something? You had a story.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about my view on the taking a knee. From Kaepernick's perspective, I feel that the reason he did it the way he did was because he was in such a position of power, of influence, to take a knee during a game, during the Pledge of Allegiance or during the national anthem, was kind of his way of flipping the bird, pretty much, to say, hey, I'm not going to stand for this. This is the only peaceful way I can do this without causing an uproar. So I think that was, at his point, the only thing he could have done without creating a violent situation for more people to get hurt. And I think he was trying to do it the most peaceful way he could in order to kind of make a stand for other people of color to see, hey, we don't have to put up with this. This isn't our place to be pushed down. So he took his knee for his brothers and sisters in the most appropriate way he could.
And just to speak more on that point, when we're looking at celebrities, anybody of a celebrity status, you know, they have multiple things that they have to consider whenever they're going to do any kind of speak out about anything on their personal beliefs. And I think that what he did was a smart move, because if he would have done something that was outright or that was easy for the NFL or for anybody else to say, you know, that was inappropriate, that was, you know, like you said, violent or vulgar or anything like that, it would have been so easy to dismiss his point. I mean, already, even just with peacefully getting on his knee during the Pledge of Allegiance, that's something that he's not hurting anybody. It's
right,
really
it's
not
a peaceful protest.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not. I personally don't see it as disrespectful. I see it as just what it is, a protest. And people have still, like, you know, made such a big deal about it. Like, obviously he has, you know, lost his career, and I mean, and people try to say, oh, well, he's still making money or whatever. Like, that's not the point.
Right.
That's still a large institution within the United States that is saying that we are not going to stand with African American people. We are not going to support Black Lives Matter, and they've made that very clear. So, you know, there are different things that he probably could have done, but I think he did choose a route that would really stick to the message. When anybody says to me that they don't agree with him taking a knee, that automatically says you're probably racist. You're not, you know, you're not for Black lives. You're not for justice and equality, because there's really not a whole lot that you can say.
Who's the racist? Because you're making me think of something. There's a question I'm gonna ask. Who? Him being a racist?
No, the people that are against taking the knee.
Because some people would be like, Black people can't be racist. I've had somebody explain something. He said that we can be racist. He said these are his. I'm not this show. I really just want to hear what you guys got to say. I'm on like a tabula rasa with my thinking. I have my ways, but he said that the legislative, so the oppression, a black person can't do. There's stuff that we can't do. You could probably be like, you could deal with our prejudice or our racism on a certain level, but it wouldn't be anything that it has something to do with the power, the actual legislation, who is going to favor. And if you want to push a button, you basically can, But that's just a thought. Anyway, that's what I want. So, Carrie, go ahead.
I was gonna say because I have an answer to that too, but so now you threw me off a little bit. Yeah, just to I guess wrap it all up. Yeah, I think that he made probably a smart decision. I'm not sure in the same position, I'm not sure if I would have chose to take a knee to do something more. I mean, I'm glad that at the end of the day, I'm glad that he did stand up to try to do something, or kneel down to try to do something, because we see a lot of these celebrities who don't really do anything, or they'll issue a statement that's like so thin and so like really not non-confrontational because they're trying to protect their own bag, which I understand, but we're talking about somebody that's making millions versus somebody some of us who are going out, the people that you see going out to the
just
streets, that it's like
street.
Yeah, like we're already out here living paycheck to paycheck, risking our jobs and our livelihoods to do this, and you're out here, you can't say anything, like that gets frustrating. So for him to really try to do that, I think that's great. I wish that we would see more. We're seeing it happen more and more, but I wish that we would see more people in positions of power and that have larger audiences say more and do more, because I think it would be it would help our mission, because at the end of the day they're sitting up there and they've got their money or whatever, but I mean on the street they're still black.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I like that. There's a lot of different opinions. Police brutality is taking a knee still valid. Keeping your mouth shut. No, you don't keep your mouth shut when it's injustice.
No, absolutely not. Speak for justice. You speak for justice. If you are a minority and you are being abused by people of power, you need to stand up and say something. Fight back, but be smart. That's how I feel about it. You can fight back in more ways than just violence.
Go ahead. You can. You can.
Yeah, and
but I want it.
As far as like the peaceful protesting and stuff goes, there's only so much peaceful protesting that you can do before it's no longer peaceful.
This is my thing with the nonviolence. I refuse to preach that when you're getting abused. I refuse to preach that when people are literally getting killed. I refuse that. I refuse. If you think it's coming, you're going to hate me for saying this. I like police. I like firemen more. Well, I like police. I back the blue because, man, you got to love firemen, ambulance, like paramedic guys like that, especially firemen, because they're fighting fire.
Right.
You're fighting a person. They're actually like fighting something that's unforgivable that will like really destroy you. You know what I mean?
Unpredictable.
Very unpredictable.
It could swallow you whole. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's why. But the police, they're not all bad. But this is the thing. I cannot sit up here and say let somebody hurt you. No, you don't do that. If something's going on, now this is the case. What I thought with you is people have a different definition of what justice is and what it looks like. And I guess the fact that if it's a person of color, like if you see some of the plays they have on reality TV shows where they have like a bike chained to a tree. And then they have like a Caucasian female go and touch the bike in a park in the middle of the day, and they get a reaction from people. Then they had a white guy, somebody said something, but the minute it was a dark-skinned black guy that walked up, the minute he even walked up and looked at that bike, people were already looking at him.
Right.
And when he touched it, they like all came together to stop it. Okay? I've seen black people do the same thing. I've seen black people who are supposed to be so political, so this and that, so like we got a task in our hands. So that cultural revolution piece, empowering women, that's just the start. What I'm seeing, especially after hearing everybody speak, the conclusion I then came to is that we got a whole bunch of work, but there are some people that are gonna look at me like, "What you got to work? What's going on? What you mean? Just leave." Some people aren't gonna think that it's a problem, no matter what discussion you go to. But at least it's raising awareness, which I forgot about Kaepernick. I did, honestly, I did, cause so much is going on. It ain't like we ain't fought a pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
raising awareness. It don't matter what he did. What they're making me think is that he used his method to raise awareness. So that was just how he did it. I don't know where he got the idea from, but his result raised awareness. So he did what he had to do to just raise awareness.
I don't know. I think it was an African American comedian who said that in regards to police having a few bad, apples in the bunch and everything, he said that being a police officer should absolutely have no bad apples whatsoever because of the amount of responsibility they have towards their community. I don't recall who said that, but it kind of sheds a harder light in what kind of psychological issues they bring in when they get the badge, because having that power kind of makes you feel invincible, where it could be something as little as just flashing your lights and running the red light because you don't want to wait. Or it could, just be the fact that you may be bullied in school and now you want to administer some sort of revenge to that.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle was a police officer and everything, but his whole mantra was firm but fair. It doesn't, skin color doesn't matter, just it's person to person regardless of the situation he's in. Anyway, I think that there needs to be a much stronger psychological evaluation and a much more strict academic sense of policing, because what is it, 18 weeks for St. Louis? Something like that.
I thought it was a little longer than that.
Or it was a year and a half.
Yeah.
Or something.
No, it's really short. I think it might be 21.
Can anything really get you ready for a job like that?
But I think that you need to have some sort of mental, strengthening system so that stuff like that doesn't break you down the line. Be it having a psychologist in each precinct that they can go through to prevent any kind of volatility from happening in the or anything. But I just think that as a police officer, it sucks when there's bad police officers that give good police officers bad name, and then it snowballs like that.
Okay, now think is the part. Think. You thought of yourself as a police. Think of yourself as a person that just got hit in the head by the billy club. Can you think after you just got hit in the head with a billy club and your eyes swollen in front of your son?
I can't.
All right, we'll tell your uncle that.
I wish I could.
He can't no more. Sorry. Tell somebody. Tell somebody who's a police officer then. Sorry. I didn't mean to hit you like that, but that's how it is. If you can put yourself in the mind of a police officer, didn't mean to offend your uncle if he's no longer living, but if you can put yourself in the mind of a police officer, put yourself in the mind of somebody who done got abused by the police too. That was my whole point of saying that. All right. Anybody got some shout outs?
Okay, I just wanted to say a few things before we wrap up here. So first of all, speaking in the context of Colin Kaepernick and taking a knee, talking about his peaceful protest in that way, I want to make sure that I'm not advocating or saying that all protests need to be peaceful or that that's the only effective way to do it. I believe that a protest is a protest, and what happens, trying to stay peaceful or fit into certain boxes, that's not what makes it a protest. So I want to make sure I said that. Also on the point of police officers and some are good or some are bad. I mean, we know that police officers, there are people that they harm each other within their own units, whether that's sexual assault, things like that. And if they aren't even, if they can't even be trusted with each other to have each other's backs, how are we trusting them within our community? And especially with the issue of sexual assault, that's a huge issue that goes across all industries. However, these are police officers. How, you know, I don't feel, I mean, it's already hard enough just being a woman walking through life, like, also knowing that so many of these people who are supposed to be protecting me, how am I supposed to go and report my, you know, any crime that would happen to me to somebody if I don't even, you know, if I know they're running around unchecked themselves. You know, so there's that level, and then also just the level of, you know, kind of with what you said, like, there shouldn't be any bad apples amongst police officers, and we are all human, and people can, you know, slip through the cracks or find their ways to get it. I mean, I know, I'm aware that kind of stuff can happen, but it shouldn't be at such numbers that we are seeing. You know, I do believe that we need to make differences, whether that's looking like, you know, defunding the police and investing in more social services, you know, things like that, or whether that looks like better training. You know, something needs to happen, something needs to change for sure.
Well, everybody don't have the best solution. Everybody's got an idea. We all play a part. We all just try to help it get better. During the discussion, it ain't always going to be the most heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? People are going to say things. You're going to say things that might hurt people's feelings. You're going to say things that might make people feel good. But at the end of the day, if you don't have those conversations, how you going to know?
You won't.
You got to meet people where they're at. And sometimes feelings get hurt along the way. But, hey, it is what it is. So, the Trey 14 Riverfront Ock is out. Y'all want to say bye? All right.
Yeah, I'm also going to do a little shout out because it's my buddy's birthday. My buddy Tony. Happy birthday to you. 35 today.
35?
35.
He's young. All right, well, thank everybody for coming out today. Next month, I want to call it Mastering the Universe, but our Masters of the Universe, where everybody here will tell you who they are distinctively, and specifically talk about like where they grew up, where they're from, because hold on, you got something to say about yourself, right? Like your ancestry is something about, aren't you like rare type?
It's we don't have a whole lot of us left, because a lot of Saxons are no
to
longer
find
here.
out more Saxon.
Yes.
To find out more, you got to tune in. But
Yeah,
man, we got
to find out more.
You got to tune in. There we go.
You don't know what the sinner do, what he did or didn't do. Introduce and send new.